I'll ask again, why do leftist radicals seem so prone to violence in Britain? A Labor councillor, Ricky Jones, even told leftist protesters to cut the throats of people demonstrating against mass immigration. Here he is.
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all.
Yeah, despite what you just heard, a jury last week cleared Jones of inciting violence. Joining me from London is Esther Krakue, writer, broadcaster and commentator. Esther, great to see you. This verdict has caused huge controversy. Why is that?
Well, because you can't help but draw parallels with the infamous Lucy Connolly case, who received 31 months in prison and is still actually currently in prison for a deleted tweet about asylum hotels during the Southport riots last year. And she received 31 months because she was basically pressured into pleading guilty, which is a tactic that the state has been using, saying that you're not going to get a jury trial for the next 3 years, so you might as well plead guilty so you don't rot in prison. But if she had chosen a jury trial, she would have received likely the same result as this man who arguably said something vile, right? Slitting the throats of people who don't want their communities fundamentally changed by mass immigration, but is getting to walk scot-free. And again, it's just drawing back to these accusations of two-tier care, two-tier justice here in Britain, where, you know, the Home Office is setting up anti-migrant rhetoric task forces to basically scour the internet for anti-migrant rhetoric instead of doing what the people want them to do and stop putting up random men showing up on our shores and hotels and stop allowing mass immigration into a very overpopulated island. So, you know, you can't help but be disgusted by this two-tier justice that we're clearly seeing.
Who was on the jury? I mean, I saw a report that you had non-British citizens on the jury. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, I mean, so jury trials have basically kind of dwindled in numbers. So actually 90% of cases are not tried by juries, they're tried by magistrates and judges. So this sort of last 10%, actually, the government has been trying to reduce that number even further to have fewer jury trials. But, you know, regardless of where these people come from, it's very clear that no one should have to serve jail time for an angry tweet or something that they said was vile, especially when at any given time, we don't even have more than 100 free prison spaces in England and Wales. So where are we going to put these people? Are we going to release more rapists and terrorists onto our streets to make room for people that tweet things that make people uncomfortable? It's completely ludicrous. But, you know, this is clearly an example of someone who decided to go for a jury trial and was found not guilty. And in very similar circumstances, Lucy Connolly would probably have been found not guilty because no one would think of imprisoning a first-time offender and a mother, no less, to 31 months in prison for a deleted tweet.
You mentioned Keir, your Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, is rushing over to Washington probably as we speak, along with other European leaders to talk to Donald Trump. What does he hope to achieve?
I think he's hoping to avoid a kind of round two that we saw between Zelensky and Donald Trump in the White House a few months ago, which was quite unsightly. But the reality is we don't really know what this man is hoping to achieve. At any given time, he can't stop random people turning up on our shores. Europe has had 3 years since the start of this Ukraine war to come to some sort of peace agreement. They haven't. And so, you know, trying to pressure Donald Trump to do things their way, well, why didn't they get on with it? Why didn't they get on with the job? Why didn't they secure a peace deal? So I'm sure that he wants to posture and make Ukraine's voice heard, as we all want to. But at the end of the day, it looks quite clearly like the ball is in America's court.
Yes, it sure does. And that is Europe's shame that it hasn't been able to control its own security. Esther Krakue, thank you very much for your time.